Hey folks, welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel and here to the Canadian International Auto Show in Toronto. We're walking around today checking out all of the cool trucks that we can find, and so of course I was drawn to this. This is the new 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo, and it has already been released, but this is my first time seeing this truck in the metal. So let's just crawl all over it, look at the features, talk about the styling, and then talk about street trucks in general. Before we dive into the details on what makes the Lobo unique under the skin, let's just talk about the styling because it is revised here. You're getting a unique front fascia up there. You're getting these rocker moldings, the blacked out roof, a painted rear bumper, and then what really catches your eye, at least I think, are these 19-inch wheels. That's quite a catching wheel design. I don't know if Ford calls it a dog dish, but that's sort of what it's reminiscent of, is those dog dish wheels. So why don't you just drop in the comments right now and let me know, what do you think about the styling here on this Maverick? Looking under the hood, the Maverick Lobo uses the 2-liter EcoBoost engine. This thing is making 238 horsepower, and this is one of the areas that Ford didn't really touch. They left the powertrain alone, but there's plenty of other upgrades that are going to change how this truck drives. First of all is the suspension. So this thing is actually lowered just under an inch in the front, just over an inch in the back, so the whole thing is dropped to the ground. The roof height then comes down about an inch as well, and there is performance tuned suspension at all 4 corners. And then actually Ford took some parts off of their best performance cars from Europe, namely the Focus ST, and they brought them over here. So the brakes and the steering rack are from that ST. They're a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressive. Now, I also mentioned all-wheel drive. Well, the Lobo gets a unique Lobo mode, and that is going to optimize the all-wheel drive for a racetrack. So when you're going through the corner, it's torque vectoring, it's sending power to the outside, helping you rotate. That thing is tuned specifically to make sure you can get around a corner fast. It will also dial back your traction control a little bit, let you have some fun. And yes, in the launch video, they even showed this Lobo drifting. That's something that I can't wait to put to the test. We haven't got behind the wheel of one of these yet, but hopefully that will be soon, and we can see if Lobo mode really does let you do donuts with this small Maverick. Looking inside, there's a couple unique features here too. Things like the stitching, which is this blue and then contrast lime green. Plus you're getting Lobo badges right in the seats, and these seats look just a little bit more supportive than what you're gonna find in the Maverick. Plus for 2025, and this applies to all Mavericks, we have a larger touchscreen over there in the center stack too. So yes, Ford has updated this entire truck with new features, and then they also brought the Lobo here to the lineup. I already mentioned I am excited to get behind the wheel of this truck, and I really mean it. And one of the big reasons is because, you know, the off-road and adventure packages that we're seeing, especially in pickup trucks these days, are so good and so well thought out and fleshed out because they've had years now to perfect them. Whereas the street truck thing that the Lobo is really going after, well, it was huge back in the 90s and early 2000s, and then it pretty much entirely went away and got replaced by packages like Tremor and Raptor. And that's why it's so exciting to see Ford trying to bring this back. And honestly, the Maverick is a perfect package for it. Why not use your smallest, lightest weight truck to make into a performance vehicle? So I really hope that this truck is signaling to the industry that yes, you know what, there is an appetite for sport trucks, for street trucks, for trucks that are dropped to the ground and actually handle decent. And maybe, just maybe, this will start a trend, because back in 2008, we can all admit when the F-150 Raptor came out, that thing started a trend among other pickup trucks. So we'll see if this is the same. But yeah, trucks, you know, obviously are better suited naturally for doing the off-road thing. They're not built to go faster on racetracks, but that's what makes street trucks so cool. They're doing something they weren't really designed for, but those engineers can still get in there and make them handle and make them fun to drive. And so I'll say it one last time, I am super excited to drive this Maverick Lobo, see if the changes they made really make it that much better. But then I'm also excited that this might just be the first in what is hopefully a bunch more street trucks joining the market really soon. So Matthew, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
we're telling everyone about this Lobo. This is such a cool looking little truck. And I think what I want you to speak to is, we know the off-road and adventure market is huge right now. You know, at Ford you have Tremor, you have Epic 4, you have Raptor. So why did Ford then feel it was necessary to kind of go the other direction, drop this truck down, make it handle better, almost like a racetrack truck? You know, what did Ford see in the market where they thought there was an opportunity here?
Well, in fact, I can say pretty much all started back in the 1980s or 1990s. You know, you may remember, some of our viewers may remember the Ford Ranger Splash. It was kind of the first take on that street truck. And more recently, when we launched Maverick in 2000 and at the end of 2021, we saw at the SEMA show some of the hot rod shops who kind of modified their Maverick. And one in particular that you may have seen was, you know, lower to the ground, had bigger wheels, a spoiler. And that's where the engineer and designer got their inspiration to design and come up with this Lobo, because customers were really looking for a you know, an on-road performance alternative that doesn't exist right now in the marketplace.
Right.
And you know, we looked at it and we thought it was a very good idea, and we got the green light and they ran with it.
Yeah.
And here we have it, 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo.
Good, and that's really an example of you guys sort of seeing what's going on naturally in the market, right? It's not like you forced it. You said, oh, they're already doing this. Well, maybe we can pick up on that, right?
Absolutely, and you know, we talked about that example at the SEMA show, but since then we've seen, you know, hundreds of customers doing just that with their Maverick, and we really wanted to give them a canvas to kind of build their own. So something from the factory with a Ford warranty on it, and with good bits and pieces and improved hardware, and just to give them a starting point for them to take the concept further, if you want.
Cool. So one other question I have, and it's getting away from Lobo for a second, is of course you added all-wheel drive to the hybrid. And can you just speak to that for a second? I'm assuming that was just, you heard so much demand from customers that you had to do it. Is that the short answer?
100%. I mean, that was the #1 demand from our customers when we launched Maverick Hybrid.
Right.
The hybrid was a success. It was front-wheel drive, as we mentioned. And the all-wheel drive was something, especially here in Canada, that customers were looking for.
Of course.
And you know, we went back to our engineers and teams and said, let's make it happen. And again, happy to have that available now for 25 model year. All-wheel drive hybrid, super fuel efficient, good power, up to 4,000 pounds of towing. So it's really a no compromise pickup truck. Gives you capability and fuel efficiency, which is very important for a lot of customers.
Sure. Well, Matthew, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Here in Canada, Maverick Lobo is going to be offered with 2 different trims. There's the Lobo Low and then Lobo High. Starting pricing is around $41,000 Canadian, but for this truck you see right here, you're talking about 51,000 Canadian, because it does have all of those features. But yeah, folks, that is the end of this one. Now please drop into the comments. Let me know what you think of this Maverick Lobo, and hey, just street trucks in general. Do you want them to come back, or is that a bad idea? I want to hear your opinion. And as always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.